Hello, our regular weekly updates about artificial intelligence, January 10th. We have lots of updates this week. I will start with project Decart. So this is a startup led by these two young people. They both were in Israeli military. Their company is actually in California. And what they do, they generate new content on the fly in real time. So this is related to gaming. What's interesting about this particular startup that they has become profitable in in 3 months. On top of that, they received money. They received 21 million in October, then 32 million in December. So they're growing very fast, and they are planning to use Etched. So Etched is a platform which provides very fast inference. So you see the comparison: Nvidia 8 H100s, 8 Blackwell 200, and then here Etched. So you see how much faster it is. But Etched is not in production yet. But this is probably the future of gaming, right? Next, Deepseek. So there are two Chinese companies who make AI models. This is Deepseek and Alibaba. And they both produce open models, Deepseek more like open models. And these models actually on par with OpenAI and like the top closed models. So here, Deepseek R1. So it is the reasoning model. OpenAI came up with O1 and they announced O3. So Deepseek is basically same thing, very comparable, but it is open. So designed to excel logical thinking, problem solving, surpassing OpenAI in some benchmarks related to math, shows thought process in real time. And this is another difference. OpenAI doesn't allow people to interview the model on how it came to certain conclusion. It doesn't show the thought process, but here it is all open. It has a long context window, 1 million tokens, right? And pricing is very, very small. To compare OpenAI's pricing, something like $60 compared to like 30 cents. So it's very affordable. Yeah, and there are multiple models from Deepseek. So there are a bunch of large language models, this reasoning model, then V3 is the most powerful LLM, which actually beats O1, and it is open source. Mixture of experts, Deepseek coder. Who has joined? Please mute yourself. Who is this? O1, mute. Okay, muted. Good. Uh, Deepseek coder, which is a very small model, but very good quality, and also vision model, right? This is Deepseek. What's interesting about Deepseek is extremely low cost, not just for inference, but of training as well. So the largest model, it took less than $6 million to train, compared with like hundreds of millions for Meta's Llama or billions of OpenAI GPT-4. So prices for training definitely go down. Deepseek achieved this low cost by a combination of factors. They're using mixture of expert architecture, optimized training process, and so on. Low cost of hardware for training. You can train the model and you can do inference on like regular commodity hardware. 11 times fold reduction in compute requirements, right? So Deepseek V3, new area, open source. So these are some links. You see open tools and so on. Much lower usage cost, which I already I told you, like 30 times less in input tokens, 60 times less in output tokens in comparison with OpenAI. And it can run on commodity hardware. So any cloud, you can find computers to run it. Deepseek computer use and artifacts. So computer use meaning that, and it's by the way on GitHub, you can use application which is open source, which is using Deepseek to do stuff on your computer. Like for example, to manage your browser, to click buttons on your browser, do something. So this is already goes into like open source area. Deepseek Artifacts, it's a platform, so it's a link. You go there, you tell it what to do, and it will generate an app for you. And it does it very quickly. And yeah, and this is the screen, how it looks. Next, Qwen. So Qwen is this second Chinese company, also creating very good models and also open source. So they have QwQ 32 billion parameters reasoning model. And this was in November, so it's not something new, but I just wanted to put it here in comparison, because in this video, the author actually tested side by side this Qwen model with O1 preview from OpenAI, and the result was that the Qwen model was actually pretty good. And on some questions, I remember OpenAI was just timing out and not answering, whereas Qwen was answering. So it's not perfect, but they're on the same level and it's open source. Okay, next is B-star self-improvement. So this is a paper from Hong Kong University, and this is a video explaining it. The idea is self-improvement and continuous learning framework, right? So it does, like, you know, in reinforcement learning, you have an agent which does some exploration and then exploitation of what it learns. And on one side, if you never explore, you never learn. But on the other side, if you only learn, you never achieve. So you need to have some balance. And this is the model which does that and aims to address limitations of current models. So it's called B-star, which stands for Balanced Self-Taught Reasoning, right? And well, it achieves very good results. It's a very good, interesting new paper. Next is, of course, Nvidia presentation. So Jensen, Huang, wow, it's a huge presentation. It was on Consumer Electronics Show, CES, which is annual trade show in January. What happened? So first they introduced, well, he introduced RTX 5090 and 8070 and so on. So there's a series of GPUs. So before it was 3090, then 4090, now it's 5090. Apparently it is like 3 times faster and 3 times less energy consumption. Well, it's not exactly apple to apple comparison, but it is very impressive. So it's a regular GPU. Also, there are GPUs for laptops, although for laptops they may have the same like 5090, but it doesn't mean that they will be as powerful, of course. Okay, NVIDIA Drive Tor for autonomous driving, Project Digits. Okay, this is amazing. I'll tell in a second. And Cosmos, this is foundation models for like a video, for gaming, for virtual reality. So digits. So digits, it is something. It is something. So this is this small box. It costs $3,000. They plan to release it for orders in May. So it is just like pre-announced. What we have inside, we have their latest Blackwell GPU, we have their Grace CPU, we have their interconnect networking, and we have 4 terabyte SSD, so all in very small enclosure. They say performance is at petaflop level, at FP4 precision, so this is the lowest precision. Well, this is great. So here you see the keyboard, the monitor, so it's very, very small. So you pay $3,000, you put it on your table, and suddenly it's 128 gigabyte of memory inside. So you can run big models. You can run all this Deepseek and Qwen models, and you don't need to pay through the nose for the cloud anymore. Once you have this box, you're in business. You can have high quality agents, whatever you can do development, it becomes low cost. So this is amazing, amazing. Now, if you compare it with RTX 4090, at RTX at 32 precision, RTX gives about 80 teraflops. At 16 precision, 600. At 8 precision, it's more than peta, right? So this system gives you petaflop at FP4 precision, which is less precision. So what it tells you that, well, it is comparable with 4090, right? But 4090 has only 24 gig of memory. This one has 128. So it can run big models. It is much faster than Mac. Usually, like I always recommend it to buy a Mac, because if you want to buy like a Nvidia GPU server, you will pay tens of thousands of dollars. But here it goes down to $3,000. So this is really good. Next, updates. Okay, Microsoft on track to invest approximately 80 billion this year in their data centers, mostly to train AI models. Last year, generative AI companies received 56 billion in venture capital investments, right? Which is almost like twice more than the previous year. So huge growth. Sam Altman tweeted about Singularity, that models will become too powerful to control, which started a lot of discussions. OLMo. So there is a Allen Institute for AI, and they make models which are completely open. The training data, the weights, the code, everything is open. So they are now at the version 2 of OLMo, 7 billion and 13 billion parameters. So this is good, and it is comparable with Chinese models. So this is good, high quality model. Next is Mervyn Praisen. Yeah, I really like him. I recommend you to subscribe to his channel. So he put together on GitHub a framework to run agents with self-reflection. So he calls it PraisonAI. So let me make it red. So it has agents, AutoGen, QwAI, low-code solution. Yeah, so this is great. I really like him. He's very talented, and yeah, you can use this framework out of the box. It's completely open source. Next, Patrick Shyu, so-called TechLead. He is famous on YouTube. He has 1.5 million subscribers. He was very active, but then he stopped, and then suddenly he came up with this video, which I highly recommend. He is controversial, but he's independently thinking and always interesting to listen to what he has to say. So what he said in this video, two things. He said that if you want to build your career based on science, technology, engineering, and math, like short is STEM, then you're crazy, because then you will compete with AI, with foreign cheap labor, so you cannot win. So don't do that. Instead, he recommends two choices. One, he believes that America is still ahead of other countries in influence via their media, via their movies, via their advertising, and so he recommends to go in media, in advertising, like empathy, media, influence, global advertising. So these are some of the pictures from his video. And another thing he said, or you can just invest your money in Bitcoin and just sit and do nothing. Just and this is, by the way, Bitcoin. I made this picture a couple days ago. It was already more than 100,000. So the price grows. As usual, controversial, but there's always some truth in what he's saying. Okay, AI models find way to circumvent rules. Yeah, this is interesting. So there is a company which deals with security, with safety of the models, and what they showed that the model can break the rule to achieve result, even without any instruction to do it. They just learn to deceive and to go behind, to break the rules. This was kind of scary. Again, there was a lot of discussions about this. So this behavior raises concerns about the safety and alignment of advanced AI systems. AI models may find ways to circumvent rules and regulations. Okay, next, Department of Homeland Security, so this is their logo. They released a guide for government use, right? And they also created AI teams, studied chemical and nuclear threats, listed. So government is not sleeping, they're creating regulations. SambaNova. I spoke about SambaNova several times. They created a very fast system for inference for large language models. They have their own chips, and they provide free Llama 31, 32, 33 models. It's about 10 times faster than GPU, so it's affordable. And yeah, so they create their chips, their hardware, and this is examples of tokens per second. 130 for the huge model, and if you take the small model, 8 billion parameters, it's literally 1,000 tokens per second, which is very high. Okay, next, Microsoft rStar-Math. So this is actually coming from China. So this is a Microsoft Asian division. They published article. It's actually a series of articles, and the idea is that you can take small models. So they used you see 3.8 billion parameters, 7 billion, 7, 8, 8, and if you do the reasoning model with they generate possibilities, they do the search in the tree, so this is how the decision tree grows. They were able to replicate the accuracy of the top like OpenAI models. So this table and what you see here, this rStar-Math, like here's 90, and here we have OpenAI O1 Mini, the same thing. So this is quite an achievement. So it shows that you can achieve high quality using small models if you structure the process in a certain way, right? So they call it rStar, which is self-play, mutual reasoning. Very interesting approach. There were a lot of disbelief that it's even possible. I usually give people an example. Okay, you have, I don't know, 20 dogs and you want to make Einstein out of a herd of dogs. But that's approximately what happened here by structuring the process. Very, very impressive. Next is Claude. Claude, I love Claude. I use it every day. And several things. In December, they announced Claude computer use. I mean, it's still experimental, so Claude can take over your computer and press the buttons and do things. They also have desktops. They also have mobile applications. So if you don't have it on your phone, question is why don't you have it? They are now seeking a $2 billion funding at $60 billion valuation. And this valuation is about 60 times its projected annual revenue. But anyway, company is in good shape. They are growing very fast. And this is another interesting thing. So as you know, Ilya Zatskever has left OpenAI and he created his own company, which is called Safe Superintelligence. And this is the work which was done almost 2 years ago, weak to strong generalization. The main idea in this work that you take like a stupid model like GPT-2 to supervise a smarter model. So what we're trying to do, let's say we have a human and we try to make a system which will supervise a superintelligence. So more primitive creature like GPT-2 supervises a more advanced creature like GPT-4. So it's called weak to strong generalization. So what they have shown in 2023 that it is possible, right? And this is like active area of research. So this video, there is a presentation made recently, and if you look at the authors, I didn't like have time to look at all of them, but most of them are from Anthropic. So some people, it was all in OpenAI, but then they left OpenAI, and many of them uh, now at Anthropic. So you see some familiar faces. This is, of course, Ilya himself. And the lecturer in this video is Colin Burns. So he's now in Anthropic. Next is, yeah, this is very interesting video. I love Matthew, and so he talks about capital. So he discusses the article, by default, capital will matter more than ever after AGI. So the main idea is that if you have money, you can hire AGI to do whatever you need. So you don't need a high position. You don't need to work at all. Like if you have money, you can buy artificial intelligence to do whatever you need for you. So that's why capital will matter more. Uh, okay, that's the main idea and some discussion about it. Very good video. Next, we have Andreessen Horowitz, which is a venture capital firm. And in December, around Christmas, they released their list of the best AI applications. And so if you go like here, so actual website, it's very, very animated, like, and you can click on those and see different companies and all this. So it's difficult to consume. So what I have done, I put it as a list in text format with the links. Like for example, for general assistance, we have Perplexity, right? And this is the link to Perplexity, Claude, Anthropic, ChatGPT, and so on. There are 2 pages. There is a pretty big list, but this is the best applications of the year. So I recommend you. I will send. I will post it on GitHub and also send an email the slides so you can follow it. Okay, next is crowdsourced Arena. So this is January 5th, just a few days ago. So the red dots is Google, yellow is OpenAI, green is open source. We also have China, we have XAI, and these are for English only queries, and on the right is for coding. So you see that the first positions is mostly Google and OpenAI, a little bit different order, but the top open source is Deepseek V3. And what else? Llama 3.1 Nematron. Nemo, this is from Nvidia. So this is their version. Okay, so this is approximately how it was last week. Next, about jobs. So first of all, here's a LinkedIn article which lists some research on the 25 fastest growing jobs. And the first 2 positions are AI engineer and AI consultant. And then you have AI researcher on the 12th. AI could replace 200,000 jobs on Wall Street. Well, it's a scandalous title, but actually they predict only about like 3% of their workforce in the next 3 to 5 years. I think it's very conservative. I think it will go much faster. Man uses AI bot to apply for 1,000 jobs while he was sleeping and get 50 interviews in 1 month. So this is a good article how he did that. Future of Jobs report from World Economic Forum, pretty lengthy, a lot of statistics. AI and ghost jobs. There are a lot of posts nowadays which advertise jobs which actually don't exist, but recruiters do it automatically for the future just to create a list of candidates. just for you to be aware of. So this is YouTube, which shows how it happens. Okay, this is me, and thank you.